The UK has fallen even further than before. I didn't think that was possible. Face ID is now needed to access adult material online. Harmful content is now censored on every social media platform. It's to protect the kids. So of course, that means adults get treated like children too. And I am now in desperate need to leave this country. Again guys, marriage proposals down below. Save me. If you're unaware, last week the UK government enforced a new piece of legislation called the Online Safety Act upon its people. A government-approved regulatory and competition authority for all things media has set new regulations to keep children safe online. These new rules mean that sites that are adult-only now need highly effective age verification technology in place. I see no flaws in that plan whatsoever. These new regulations also mean that social media sites now need to make sure their algorithms aren't pushing harmful content to young people. Interesting use of language there. Harmful content. What is harmful content? Who decides what harmful content is? This will absolutely 100% not result in the government filtering what you can see and censoring what they don't like. Nah, that would never happen. Not my government. They love free speech. So instead of the usual, are you 18? You wouldn't lie to me, would you, to get access to boobs? No? Okay, then go on through. I recommend page 594. Yeah, instead of that, you are now required to verify your age via credit card details, facial age verification, or checking ID. The one I've seen the most is the facial recognition. It apparently deletes the image after it has been verified. Yeah, sure, I believe you. If companies don't abide by these rules, they can receive an £18 million fine or fine of 10% of their revenue. So what does this mean for the UK? Well, in regards to everything I just read, next to nothing. This will not stop children finding adult content online. Now, for the sake of research purposes, I'm going to test this right now. Can I in fact access these adult-only sites with none of this ID kerfuffle? Glasses. Let's take a look. Okay, so if I search busty Asian, yep, found some. It is that easy. No VPN, no spooky gamer voodoo. It was that easy. Wow. Wow. All it stops is the big players, the sites everyone knows about. The mainstream sites. It stops them. The goal of this isn't to stop adult content being seen by people under 18. Like the government gives a f*** if little Timmy is watching Bonnie Blue's latest adventure. No! This is about control. The thing is, this isn't going to stop teenagers looking at this stuff. It's going to push them towards dodgier sites that don't ask for ID. And they will see some freaky shit on those sites. Well done. Well done. Now, I do believe that kids shouldn't be looking at this, and apparently 8% of children aged 8 to 14 had visited an online site or app over a month-long period. To be fair, 8% isn't as much as I thought, but it's still 8% too much. I think that this sort of adult content is highly addictive material that can affect adult brains. For a child, that will seriously mess with their brains, like a lot of things meant for adults. Alcohol can be very damaging to kids. Gambling can have dangerous effects on kids mentally. Not that EA ever cared, but also like these, even if it can have harmful effects on people when they consume this stuff, I still believe that they are adults and are responsible for consuming whatever they want. They're adults. So while I believe that kids shouldn't be looking at this, and I'm sure most of us agree that kids shouldn't be looking at this is the completely wrong way to go about it. It's clearly rules made by people who don't understand the internet. We're going to stop kids from being able to find adult-only content by enforcing rules on these mainstream sites. Because that is the only adult content that exists. There is no more. There is? Wait. What? They can't enforce the entire internet to follow these rules. There will always be sites that don't follow the rules. And it's more likely that they'll see something f***ed up on those sites than anything else. This just won't have the desired effect that they claim these rules are for. Oh, and these rules have already f***ed up massively. People not being able to see their own art. Adults getting banned from Discord. My God, man, how incompetent can you get? If there was ever an image that could sum up the meaning of incompetence, it would be the UK UK government. And not just this one, the government from over the last 20 years, probably longer. Let me just put this all around some context for you so you can truly understand how dumb this is. You can enter the country with no ID, get set up in a nice 5-star hotel.
If I speak, I am in big trouble.
You can drive a vehicle at 17 that requires massive amounts of responsibility to not kill someone. You can vote in general elections at age 16. Even 16-year-olds thought this was a bad idea. Have you ever spoken to a 16-year-old about politics? I have with family members, and let's just say it's a bad idea. You can't drink, you can't drive yet, but decide who will run the country next? Yes, that sounds like a great plan. I'm a genius. Obviously, this is because the current government wants more left-leaning voters and teenagers have more leftist beliefs. How can kids vote in general elections? They can't even make their own decisions yet, seriously. Oh, and don't forget this one. The age for consent in the UK is 16. Yes, a 16-year-old boy can have relations with a 50-year-old woman if they wanted to, unless that person is in a position of power over that child, like a teacher. It's so f***ing wrong, bro. I personally think that the age of consent should be 18. So, you can do whatever you like with whoever you like at 16, but if you search boobs on the internet, I swear to the Lord of Communism, you will pay. Let's address the uncomfortable things, right? What a child searches on the internet is entirely the parent's responsibility. The entirety of the country should not have to deal with your bad parenting. There have been things you can put on your internet for safety for years. Let's just say it, most parents don't know what they're doing with the internet, let alone set up security and privacy restrictions. I guarantee most of them don't know what a VPN is. Let's talk about the things they'll see on social media. It's safe to assume that harmful content will include influencers like Andrew Tate, your macho content creators who are teaching men all the wrong things. Let's ask why men are searching for Andrew Tate in the first place. Better yet, let's address why the things Andrew Tate says are resonating with a young male audience. Maybe, just maybe, if they had a father figure around, they wouldn't be searching for one on the internet. Every year, 15% of families fall apart when the father takes on the impossible task of acquiring milk. Please spare what you can to make it easier for these fathers to acquire the milk. Oh, and these adult content creators that they're accidentally scrolling across, they'll just put on slightly more clothing. These girls aren't just going to disappear from their feeds. They're not all of a sudden gonna stop drip feeding their content to teenagers until they can eventually subscribe to them. Don't be stupid. Let's just be honest with ourselves. The child protection excuse is just a smokescreen so they can take more control. Because since these regulations have been put into effect, it's not just adult-only content that's been blocked. Footage of the UK protests are being blocked as well.
If I speak, I am in big trouble.
It was in the language, wasn't it? Harmful content. Harmful content. This footage is harmful. You shouldn't see protests or police doing things that they shouldn't be doing. You will only see things that we deem appropriate for you from now on. Now back to our regular programming of Communism is Great. So let's just say what this is actually for. More control, more restrictions. It won't just be adult content they block. It will be content they don't want you to see being blocked under the guise of adult content or harmful. And what is harmful? How long before YouTube channels are no longer able to criticize public figures? Because of course the government wants to take away your right to criticize them or their ideologies. How long could it be before people are completely silenced? Could it be someone on YouTube with autistic characteristics and the best goddamn looking legs on the internet? Maybe, who knows? Who knows? We have seen the government suppress information that went against them in the past during COVID. So they can and will do it. These regulations just make it all that much easier for them. They have access to your private messages and they can also monitor your online activity. Yes, so if you're commenting on videos or the news that might be slightly harmful to some people, well then, good luck. Because that's naughty, that's dreadful, that's awful behaviour. Some might say harmful. Free speech, you have none. There is a new law coming into place soon where if you overhear a conversation that offends you, you can report said conversation. I mean, it's harmful behaviour, so report them. And there's no line set, it's just how the person feels when they heard it. Well then, did it upset them? Hate crime. Oh my god. It's so dystopian. I'm so cooked, boys. If you think that's unrealistic, you can get arrested for memes over here. It's only going to get worse. I think realistically, we can see a future where ID is mandatory for the internet. As soon as you get a new device, you have an internet ID that is linked to you via biometrics. And every single thing you do is being monitored. Every single thing you do is Catalogued. Whoa, 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 whoa. Did you just follow someone on X that has slightly too honest takes? Arrest that man. It's Big Brother, bro. Everything we do is being watched. They're probably watching me right now making this video. And because this is a video game industry channel, let's talk about how it will affect the video game industry. It will get hit massively. Face ID to play GTA. Biometrics on your controller so the console always knows who is playing. ID will be needed too for video games exceeding 2 hours. How much do you want to bet that video games be limited to 2 hours a day per person? Because even though there's no data to suggest it's dangerous, some Karens over in Australia will feel that they are. And emotions trump facts. So 2 hours a day for you. And by that time, we'll be living in a full dystopian world where we have chips in our necks, and they'll shut us down if we have a thought that opposes the government. The video games industry will lose a lot of money. We know that a massive amount of these COD players are kids. Well, I mean, if they take the kids out of the lobbies, at least the guys over 25 will now have a chance. I see a lot of people on YouTube and X saying the UK needs to fight this. And I, like many others in the UK, appreciate the sentiment. We do. We appreciate the noise you're making and the attention you're bringing to it. But the UK is gone. It's gone beyond repair. And the people have given up on the government. Only 59% voted in the last election, with the winning party only getting 35% of the vote. And you might be thinking that it's their own fault. They should have voted. I would say by now that the majority of the country is right-wing. But our government system is just so broken. A right-wing party was in charge for a very, very long time and just made matters worse and worse until eventually the people had enough and either voted for parties smaller that could have no chance of getting in, or they just didn't vote. And then the left-wing party just swoops in and does whatever they want. The people have tried to change things. They've tried to speak out. I'm not even right-wing. I don't know what I am, but I can promise you I will never have any faith in any government ever. They don't care about us. The UK is going to hit a boiling point soon. But you see, the more people get angry and show their frustration towards the government, the more the government just tightens the screw and bring in new laws and new restrictions. And we saw with COVID how easy it was for the government to control the people. I can see a future where we don't have an election. A dictatorship is approaching us. Save me. Please. There is a petition against this. I'll put the link in the description. I personally don't see it accomplishing anything. With what our government is doing, with what our banks and credit card companies are doing, our freedom is disappearing before our very eyes, and so many people are blind to this, or they agree with it. Most people that come across this video will already agree with me and will already know about the topic. To my American brothers out there, this same thing is being discussed by your government right now. Push back against this. You're the last truly free country. Don't give that up. Please. I know you don't want to, but please don't. If you're new here, you should probably know that I very rarely talk about political real-world stuff. I talk about the gaming industry and that world. In this case, they crossed over because this will affect everything. Gaming will be hit massively by this. And for those that keep coming back here, you beautiful people, thanks for watching another one. I'll see you in the next one. Maybe not.
Free speech today.
Well, free speech is very important. I don't know if you're referring to any place in particular. Perhaps they are, but
we've had free speech for a very, very long time here, so we're very proud of that.